Hello everyone, welcome to Dorothy Chia Piano, where I talk about all things piano teaching and piano learning. So today we're going to talk about Eat the Frog. What do I mean by eat the frog? Eat the frog means in life, do the things that you don't want to do. So the thing that you like to procrastinate because it's difficult, it's something that you feel it's a chore to do, yeah. I guess in life there will be events that is such, so eat the frog. And today we're going to talk about specifically eat the frog and relate it to the task of practicing piano. Now a lot of piano teachers out there will say that there are students that tell them, I did not practice this week because I have a lot of homework. I'm very busy, you know, I have a lot of things to do, a lot of enrichment classes. I have exams tomorrow, so I didn't practice. So they're all excuses. I remember when I was given the opportunity to have lessons when I was younger, my mom asked me, do you want to learn? So rather, your question to your child should be, do you want to learn piano? So if their answer is yes, then we can move on from there. Yeah. However, if their answer is no, then go and learn something else. There are lots of things to learn. You can learn a language, you can go and pick up the skill of learning Japanese, you can go and pick up abacus class, you can go and learn swimming, pick up a sport, you can go and learn ballet. There are other instruments too. You can learn flute, you can learn violin. There are lots of things to learn, and rather I think the world is your oyster. So if you pick something that you want to learn, then the chance of doing the back end work is so much higher. So if your answer to the question, do you want to learn, was yes, then it goes without saying that there is homework to be done. Yeah, you will need to practice. So how do you go about practicing? So number 2, I would say set aside a time to practice. So that becomes your practice time. Your practice time needs to be sacred. Yeah, which means, let's say if you, for example, say, I'm going to practice 3 p.m. The magic number 3 p.m. because it's I've rested, I've came back, ate my lunch, I've rested. I haven't quite started on my homework yet, so it's the in-between stage and I want to have some me time. So 3 p.m. is going to be my practice time, which means every day when it comes to 3 p.m., stop whatever you're doing, go and practice your piano and stick to it. Okay, so without fail, 3 p.m. Monday to Friday, practice piano. So that's your practice time, and treat it with the sacredness that you're going to get it done. Now, before you get it done, decide how long you're going to practice, the length of time. Now, I have students that stop lesson because they say, oh, I don't have time to practice. And in your studio policy, you state that students need to practice. So since I don't practice, then I do not wish to study with you. So that is like throwing out the baby with the bath water. I would say no. To be precise, I said practice more when you have more time and practice less when you have less time. What I do not want is actually totally zero practice time. Okay? Why? Because when you didn't practice, there is no learning. So for learning to take place, you need to practice. So when you have more time, let's say it's a school holiday or it's the weekend, designate 1 hour to practice. And if you are busy, so let's say tomorrow you have an exam, you have an important exam this week, like O-levels, A-levels, then spend less time. So between 10 minutes to 1 hour is your practice time. Then fourthly, decide how are you going to fill in that practice time? What are you going to do? So all this takes place all this planning takes place before you actually sit down and start even playing a single note. So let's say you're playing 10 minutes. Maybe in that 10 minutes you're going to play your scales and one exam piece. Remember my word headline, tagline today is eat the frog. So start with the thing that you least like to do. So perhaps maybe scales, you do not like to play C sharp major or F sharp major because there are a lot of black keys. Then start with those scales. Don't always start with C major. Okay, and maybe you feel Hanon is difficult, then start with Hanon. Okay, maybe there's one piece that your teacher keeps asking you to drill on it. So start with that task. So eat the frog. If you have 1 hour, then it gives you more leeway on how to go about practicing. So definitely the scope is wider. You can probably tackle all the things that you need to do. So you can probably work your skills, your technique, the repertoire, and your exam pieces, and go through every one. Perhaps you are practicing for a competition or for an exam, then you want to do more detailed work. Okay, so it could be probably 3/4 of the time spent on drilling, yeah, and the last quarter on slow practice, and finally 1 round of playthrough. Okay, I'm going to add point number 5. Do you review your practice? Okay, I remember when I was a student that I would carry the Walkman around. At that time it was this small little cassette player that you put in a cassette and you can do your recording and listen through your headsets outside. So what I did is that the final playthrough I would do a recording, and in my dormitory at night I would review my playing and assess where are the areas that were satisfactory and where are the areas that needed more work. So then I would plan the next day's work, alright, which means then remember, back to the tagline, eat the frog. Tomorrow, during your practice, you're going to sit down and based on yesterday's review, you're going to start with the area that needs the most work. So I hope today's tips and tricks have made your practice more productive and more systematic. So if you found this helpful, do remember to like, subscribe and share. Drop in the comment box what you think of this topic on practice. Do you need more tips on how to go about practicing more efficiently? Would you like more of such videos? And teachers out there, if you think this is going to be helpful to some of your students, do feel free to share this video with them. Until the next time, bye-bye.